Hi, I'm Rita Gehman, and today I'm going to go into more depth about why you should not wash your hair. By the way, I've learned this from a master stylist, a man who used to take care of my hair all the time before he moved away. And he was extremely good at making sure my hair turned out perfectly all the time. So one of the reasons why you should not wash your hair is that it is very important to keep it nice and soft and manageable, and also to keep it from thinning out. Many women who use lots of product, their hair tends to thin. So what happens is your scalp is covered with natural scalp oil, and this oil protects your hair. And the more you brush the oil through your hair, the more it coats it and protects it. Now, I realize none of us want to have icky, oily hair, but this typically results from what happens right after we stop washing our hair, which is that your body regulates everything, and so it tends to regulate the fact that your hair is constantly being stripped of its oil every day, every time you wash it, and so it produces a great deal more oil to make up for that fact. So in the beginning, you'll find that your hair gets very oily very fast, and usually around the scalp as well. But if you brush all that oil down to the tips of your hair and you don't wash it, your body will quickly start regulating it, and within 4 days it will be regulating the oil, your scalp oil, down to where you're not kicking up very much oil at all up there. You're just brushing it down to the tips of your hair, and it's not looking oily and nasty. Okay, so one of the things that you need to remember is that this oil is very protective of your hair. It's very healthy for your hair. If you are in the hospital, or you've been in the hospital, and your hair is shedding, or it's breaking, or when you get out of the hospital and all of a sudden you don't have all of those drugs pumping through you, well, the drugs will actually help you shed your hair, so it will actually be detrimental no matter what you do. But if you take a natural bristle brush, something soft where the bristles are the same strength as or lighter strength than your hair, in other words, if you have one of those really thick hard bristle brushes, then they can actually break the hair as you're brushing through just naturally, simply whenever it encounters a stop or a tangle in the hair. So get something natural, and also natural bristle brushes also transfer the oil more easily and more effectively through your hair, and so it will help the hair stay a lot healthier. And will also the purpose in doing this is to transfer the oil down to the tips of your hair and keep your entire hair strand covered in oil, in your natural scalp oil. The only thing that I've ever seen that is anywhere close to natural scalp oil is coconut oil. So if at the beginning you really want to just use lots of oil, and you don't think you have enough scalp oil, you can always use coconut oil, but the best thing really is your own natural scalp oil, because it is designed specifically for your hair, specifically for your particular hair type, and for the pH of your body. In other words, it's very carefully regulated and very carefully set up to where your hair is perfectly managed, exactly as it should be. So what you'll want to do is 5 or 6 times a day, brush this nice healthy protective oil through your hair down to the tips. And this is your scalp oil is the only thing I've ever seen that actually will fuse split ends back together, and also fuse broken parts of the hair back to the hair and actually permanently fuse it. Product tends to coat these frayings of the hair, and it coats each end, and then it prevents it from actually being able to fuse together. So, but natural scalp oil will actually be able to fuse it together, because it is part of your natural hair care. It is part of what your body produces to take care of your hair. So, if you brush your hair 5 or 6 times a day, and at the beginning your hair will be, of course, very oily because it's used to being stripped all the time of that oil. But after a while, you'll realize that, it's not kicking out very much oil at all. And if you keep brushing your hair 5 or 6 times a day, you'll find that any style, first of all, your hair will fall more naturally. It will have more body. It will look, no matter whether it's thick, thin, straight, or curly, or super fine, any of those things, it will actually fall more healthily. It will fall more naturally. And kind of the result of having put tons of product in your hair and ironing it straight or ironing it curly, and then taking up pieces of your hair and making sure that it moves over itself really well. Well, you can actually achieve the same effect by just having enough of your own scalp oil running through your hair. It will actually shine better. It will look healthier. People will comment on it. It will be like amazing to them, and also it will protect it. And it will protect it from heat, so you can use as high heating as you want, even if you have super fine hair like I do. And it will also, it will actually hold your curl. It's the only thing I've ever seen that actually holds your hair in a specific style for 24 hours, and I've even seen it in my hair up to 48 hours. If I have nothing but good, healthy scalp oil through my hair, then it will actually, all the way down to the tips, because it will take a while to get it down to the tips and keep it down to the tips, okay? It will, don't underestimate how many brushings you will have to do with a nice, soft, natural bristle brush every day. You'll have to make sure that oil stays down there and all over the hair. And this includes, the hair on top, hair underneath, I mean, everything. You'll have to really manipulate it and really brush it all the time to make sure that it's covered constantly with this natural scalp oil. And it will actually make your haircuts look better. It will make them last longer. It will fuse split ends back together all down the hair strand and at the very end. And it will. This is one of my favorite parts of your natural scalp oil. The benefits of your natural scalp oil in not washing your hair, and that is that it will actually hold your hair in a hairstyle for a longer period of time. It will be like a natural hairspray, only it will look better, and you can actually run your fingers through it rather than it being sticky and gross and just not manageable. And also, if the hairspray wears off, the hairstyle, of course, is limp, or it stretches and the hairstyle falls limp, or or kinks up, however you have it curled or straightened. But I found that the way you have your hair, it will actually hold it in that position. Natural scalp oils will actually hold it in that position for, I've seen it up to 48 hours, but especially 24 hours, they will hold it in that same style. So I've actually done nothing but curl my hair or straighten my hair and then just walked away. No hairspray, no holding gel, nothing. Absolutely nothing, but just curled it, run my fingers through it or brush it out or whatever, however I want to do it, and then walked away. And it will hold it for an interminable amount of time. It will be incredible to you how well your hair will keep its vitality. I don't support teasing your hair, but if you are going to tease your hair, obviously you know that if you tease your hair, you need to only do it when it's dry, because when it's wet, it will really, it will really break it and tear into it. Well, the same thing with the scalp oil. The scalp oil is it makes your hair stronger and healthier. It's the opposite of having wet hair. And so what will happen is you'll actually be able to tease your hair without damaging it as much. So your scalp oil is the healthiest thing that you can do for your hair. And if you're sick, or if you're on drugs, or if you're on medication, or if you're in the hospital, and you're losing hair, the best thing you can do is just not wash it. Just don't even wash it. And if you're losing hair, then just don't brush it either. Just brush a little bit, but don't brush it very often. But if you're having problems with the product not being enough, or your hair being too weighed down, or your hair just not, doing the things that you want it to do, stripping it of all that product, because it takes up to 2 months to get rid of all that product in your hair. So if you strip it of all that product and you actually just brush it 5 or 6 times a day thoroughly with a natural bristle brush and get all that wonderful scalp oil down to the tips of your hair, your body is designed to take care of its own hair without having to go out to the store and buy things. It's designed to naturally care for itself. And so that's what your scalp oil does, is it cares for your hair and it protects it. So even if you tease it or iron it straight or use high heat on it or anything like that, scalp oil will actually hold it in your style, and it will also protect it. It will also protect it from heat and protect it from weather. It will protect it from being frizzy, in damp weather, or drying out in dry weather, or whatever. So I really recommend not washing your hair very often, no matter what type of hair you have. It's a really good idea to just brush it constantly and get that oil nice, coating your hair nicely. And then, especially if you have heavy hair, when you do wash your hair, it won't affect it as much. And also, I recommend, obviously I'm not saying take a shower once every 2 weeks. I'm saying just rinse your hair out in the shower. Just rinse your hair, you know. It's okay to get it wet. You don't have to keep it dry the whole time, but just don't strip it. Don't put shampoo and conditioner in it all the time. Also, don't recommend putting conditioner in your hair simply because it acts as wax, which is why it looks so good after you use it. But if you over condition your hair, it becomes crunchy like straw and it looks really dry. And you can usually tell when someone has over conditioned hair because they're using a lot of hair product, but what they're really using is a lot of conditioner. So be careful about that too. Okay, thank you.